everybody in the building today.
Hey. It's back to school. Everybody's back.
Summer is officially gone.
Everybody's on regularly scheduled programming. Yeah.
Well, summer doesn't officially leave until September 22nd.
This is true.
Uh-oh.
This is
Okay,
true.
that's fair.
Yeah, no,
This
summer's
is true.
over. When you go back to school, that's it. Summer is done. The weather changes.
The
I'm in a
Lord doesn't
sweatshirt.
forget.
Like
It's
it's
true.
a wrap.
It's true.
You in a sweatshirt because it's cold where you are.
Right. There's no more sand on the park, on the grass. No. Okay.
Even though they didn't do the sand this year, but yeah, they still had the beach chairs out.
I'm still living through that. I like that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, welcome to the Swirl Suite, everybody. My name is Sarita. You can follow me at Vine Me Up, yada, yada, yada. You can follow the Swirl Suite on all social media. And please follow our episodes on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and Stitcher. Ladies, you want to do a quick introduction?
Sure, I'll start
There
and
you
be
go.
enthusiastic about it. Yay! No more dead air. Hi, I'm Tanisha, Girl Meets Glass, and I talk about all things that go in your glass. Wine, beer, cocktails, water, whatever. And you can find me on
I
social
ain't
media.
never heard you talk about no water.
Mm-mm.
I talk about water a lot on this show because that's usually what I'm drinking.
Okay.
So
Touche.
take that. Anyway, you can find me on social media at Girl Meets Class. And there's that.
Melissa.
Hey, y'all. I'm Melissa, otherwise known as the Liquor Lady. All things really liquor, a little wine, some beer. I do water too. Actually, I tasted some good water the other day. It's a new brand special for bourbon. So a story for another day. Yeah, limestone water. So
Wow.
don't hate on the water. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter at liquor_lady or Instagram at the liquor lady.
Cool. Glynis.
Hey, Melissa, I can't wait to hear about the limestone water. That's it. That's going to be interesting. Hi, everyone. Glennis Hill, Vino Noir. You can find me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as at Vino Noir, at Vino Noir _Vino_Noir, because Twitter won't allow the dashes. Also, you can find me on Facebook at Wine. So I'm just wine. I just do wine. I don't do spirits like my other two colleagues here. And if I
What
do,
happened to the Grand
very-
Marnier?
I'm getting there. If I do spirits, it's very and it's Grand Marnier only, pretty much. So
Right. He like nothing else to
Hi,
talk about.
everyone. Welcome to the Swirl Suite.
Yeah. Leslie.
I am Leslie Freelow with all things Maryland wine, and I am with Vino 301 Wine Concierge. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google Plus if anybody still uses that, and
She's like, what's that?
right, exactly, and Pinterest. And
Hey.
I am all things wine, Maryland wine. Today, Melissa, Nisha, you would be impressed.
Oh.
Girl!
Okay.
I see something brown in the glass.
So I can't wait to share because it's a Monday, Tuesday today.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So how was everybody's holiday weekend? Did you do anything spectacular this week or weekend?
Okay, so can we talk about power for a second?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, she hasn't caught up. Okay. We're going to do that.
The episode wasn't online yet, so it's not like I could just turn on the TV and be like, hey,
All right.
watch it. I haven't been able to find it online. So please, no, we can't. I'm sorry.
Okay, so so this morning, I'm not going to say what happened.
Oh, God.
But
Okay,
this
I'm going
morning-
to take my headphones out.
Leslie just got muted.
I can't. I don't want to hear, nothing.
I'll put thumbs
What I
up
was
with
just
it.
going to say is
Uh-huh.
when you see it, you got to hear this part, Tanisha. When you
Okay.
see it,
Put them back on, Tanisha.
Is it safe?
Yes, it's safe.
yeah, I'm
Yes.
not, when you see it, I want to know, is it what you expected? Because that
Okay.
was the conversation today. Like, yeah, it was
Mm-hmm.
it was the normal hype, and other people were like, it was
Okay.
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 So that's what I'm curious to hear.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Well, that was
Well,
anticlimactic.
right.
As
Well,
a non-power watcher, I was like, give me some more.
Exactly.
No,
Melissa,
because I watch it and I don't. No spoilers. No.
well,
feel you.
I can talk about my visit to District Winery really quick.
Ooh.
You can, yes.
So, if you follow me on Instagram, I went to District Winery's opening on Wednesday, and it's right on the water on the Navy Yard, in DC, and it is super shishi.
So
It's
Okay.
it's very fancy. It's really big. As soon as you walk in, there is a tasting bar. So you can do the tasting like outside like the restaurant. So the winery and tasting bar is on the left, and then there's an attached restaurant called Ava. So
Quick question. Let me
Sure.
interrupt you just a second.
Yeah.
You say on the water. On
Uh-huh.
the water where? Like give me an idea.
So
of
it's
what
right
waterfront
right
you're
on
talking
Water Street, where it's not like it's not walking
Down
about. Where like Phillips used to be? Is that water?
No,
where that
not-
big seafood restaurant was.
not
No.
not that
Past-
far
past
down.
Phillips.
Not that far down. No.
Okay.
isn't it
But
like
in that area.
Yeah.
Okay.
Near the stadium.
Just
Yeah.
trying to
Yes,
Oh,
exactly,
okay.
exactly. Near
Okay,
the
so
Nat
it's
Stadium.
at Navy Yard.
It's at
Okay.
Navy
Yeah,
Yard.
it's
Yeah.
near
When you
Nat
said
Stadium.
Fufu shishi, I was thinking all those condo fufu and like
Yeah.
restaurants shishi
Yeah.
right there. Okay.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Got it.
So it is. They call themselves like a boutique urban winery. So they don't grow any grapes or anything. They get their grapes from other places. And there were only 3 states I saw on the tasting sheet. So I saw Washington, saw California, and I saw New York. So
think of from Finger
yeah.
surprisingly
Yeah.
did a lot from Finger.
So they make their wine, I guess, on location, and yeah, it was pretty good. The tasting was pretty vast. It was one of those sheets where you have to choose 5 from like 3 different lists, or you can choose like winemaker selection or the most popular, that sort of thing. So, and like I said on Instagram, the most interesting wine was a contact Chardonnay. So the Chardonnay juice was left on the skins. So it was dark. It was like heavy. The nose, it smelled like a red wine. It was so weird.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was so weird, but really interesting. Their rosé was really good. So after the tasting, and the tasting was $15, I think, no industry discount yet. I told them about themselves a little bit. So
It wasn't too fufu shishi though. It wasn't too bad.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Now the attached restaurant, Ava, now that was a little shishi. Well, first of all, the cocktails were spectacular. They were really, really good. Alan had this one cocktail that had an actual honeycomb in it. And there was just like honey dripping in the glass. Oh my God, it was so good. It was so good. Yeah, now the food, upscale. It's upscale, like it's
Paul
like,
said
You
everything.
can't sell it now.
yeah, well,
Tanisha, when you say
We saw your face.
Yeah,
I don't think she's trying to sell.
listen, I can,
No,
I
clearly
can't,
not trying to
just
sell.
based on the menu, Alan, like my husband was going to leave there hungry. So just based on looking at the menu, it's not like you're not going to leave full. So to me, it's either you're going to start your like night there with cocktails or end your night with cocktails there. And it might be a nice after work spot for I didn't see any, like, I don't know if it's going to be like a happy hour spot, but it was nice. It was nice to see, nice to see.
So
NBC.
is that for the restaurant as well as the tasting bar? You feel that you won't get full, or was it just in the tasting bar that they had top of side?
Yeah, I probably would be okay as far as like food, but like a man, he's gonna want like pizza, wings, or something afterwards if y'all went there.
So maybe you go eat first. And
Exactly.
then you go
Like
drink.
I said, yeah. You start there with cocktails, then you go to dinner somewhere else, and then
Right.
you
That's
know.
the pre-party or the
Right.
after party.
Exactly.
After party.
Not the party.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah. Yeah. But
That's
it was nice.
interesting.
Yeah, it was nice.
That's cool.
So
And also
what was your favorite wine?
uh I'm so biased right now because I'm so hard on rosé. It was good. I like the rosé. The rosé was good, and I think it was made. Yeah, I think it was made out of Grenache. So that was yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Mhm.
So it's good.
That's always gonna win.
Hmm.
Nice.
And they had a nice unoaked Chardonnay. Y'all know I'm a sucker for unoaked Chardonnay. It
Me
was good.
too. Wow.
Hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was that Oak Chardonnay was from the Finger Lakes, right?
Let me check the menu really quick. I have my picture of it.
I was gonna say,
But,
can you just
All
throw a
diehard
music
eaters
next
and
to it?
drinkers have a picture of the menu on their phone
yeah,
when they
of
leave
course. Well,
somewhere.
of course I do. But
That's interesting.
well, Leslie, tell them about the tour that I went
Yeah.
on with you and
Oh, yeah.
Wine Antics.
Oh, yes.
Yes, Leslie, we wanna hear it.
So
It's Finger Lakes, Glennis, yeah.
we went. It was six people
Mm-hmm.
on tour, and we did the Frederick area,
Mm-hmm.
the Frederick Wine
Okay.
Trail,
Mhm.
and we started off at Black Ankle Vineyard. So it was a reunion day for Sarita, and you guys did a lot of tastings. You did a little bit beyond.
Yeah, well, you know, they try to show off when media comes. So they were
Right.
like, oh, you got to taste this. Oh, you didn't taste that. So, yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of drinking.
And they
That's right.
actually, they had a lot of whites on the menu this time because
For
usually
real?
by this time of the year
Mm-hmm.
they run out, but
Yeah.
they had a number of white wines. And then was that your first time seeing the expansion? Because
No.
Black Ankle, okay,
Mm-hmm.
they expanded. If you've been there before the expansion, it was kind of cramped inside, and it was raining
Yeah.
that Saturday, which usually in the past you didn't have any room or oxygen in the place. And now with the expansion,
Why did you say no oxygen? We're not doing this with you, Leslie.
Right?
it was noticeably different. It was
Mhm.
it was comfortable
Yeah. Yeah.
there. And so Black Ankle was Black Ankle,
Mm-hmm.
which is not a bad thing. It's just the
Mhm.
usual
Mm-hmm.
level of excellence.
Mhm.
And then we went around the corner to Hidden Hills, which is the newest one in that particular region. And I think I talked about it before. It's a horse farm
Mm-hmm.
/ vineyard. And the interesting thing about them is they just started out and they are in a co-op, which is popular on the West Coast,
Mhm.
but now starting to gain some popularity on
Mhm.
the East Coast, where they hire somebody to help with their wine making process, store the wine for them because they're
Mhm.
small. And you probably will see more Maryland wineries do that
Yeah.
simply because they can't afford the startup cost.
Mm-hmm.
But it was really nice. Barbary is the tasting manager there, and she served some of their reserved wines
Mm-hmm.
that is exclusive to their wine club members. So I don't know if anybody joined the wine club afterwards, but it's some of their reds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And some of their reds. And I think, in a couple of years, the reds are good, but I think they will be much better
Mm-hmm.
in the future. Because it's just, this is like their first year out of the box.
Yeah.
So
That's
Yeah.
right.
it will. And the interesting thing about this particular region, which I like about Maryland wine, is that they work together. So
Mm-hmm.
they share the same French consultant who comes over
Mm-hmm.
with Old Westminster, Black Ankle,
Mhm.
and I think Newmarket Plains.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you might notice similarities
Mm-hmm.
in their wine. And they did she tell you the story about the wild yeast, how they are trying to use that in their
Mm-mm.
winemaking process?
Uh-uh.
So they're trying to, instead of using like, is it
Tamed
cultured
yeast?
yeast? Yeah. Tamed.
Yeast.
Um, they try to use the wild yeast that gives you more of an organic taste um, in their, I think, Pinot Grigio and their Chardonnay.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Interesting. Huh.
Yeah.
Well.
It's
Wow.
very interesting. And oh, there's one other thing. I don't know if you picked up on this. So the owners there, Robin and Art, they are very involved in the fertility community.
Mm-hmm.
And
Did you say fertility?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
fertility.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so
Cause
Art,
I'm like, it don't rhyme with nothing else, so like
Mhm.
it has to be fertility. But all right.
Mhm.
Right. Like we're waiting
Yeah.
for the punchline on this one.
I just
So
had to make sure my ears heard exactly what
yeah.
you said.
Mhm. Mhm.
So Art is a fertility doctor.
Okay.
And he's one of the founding partners at Shady Grove Fertility.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
So
Multi-talented. Oh my goodness.
Mhm. Yeah.
even though the place is managed by Robin, but they work together as a team.
Mhm.
Anyhow, they have a fundraiser coming up, which I think is a phenomenal fundraiser, and it's for couples who are having fertility problems. It actually was not started by them. It was started by this Black lady, and her mother is a doctor, and her mother carried her children for her.
Whoa.
Wow.
Her mother had triplets.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
Some love for your
Whoa. Well,
and
damn.
so after that, she asked her mother, like, what can I do? Because I wouldn't have my beautiful children.
Mhm.
And her mother said, you should give back. So she started this, it's called the Cade Charity, and they raise money for couples who
Mhm.
are suffering. And fertility treatments are so expensive.
Mhm.
So they help them with the money. And if you don't have to do like the fertility, it could be for adoption or what have you.
Mhm.
And so Hidden Hills is hosting this fundraiser.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
wow.
So, if that's the cause that you want to support,
Mhm.
I would say definitely, get behind this vineyard to support that charity.
I will put that link in the description box of the podcast if you want to check that out.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Leslie.
Well,
That was a lot.
okay. Yeah, that was interesting. Okay, well.
Y'all had all the fun this weekend. Excuse me.
Were you gonna say something, Glennis?
Now I was saying my weekend wasn't as fun. I was in the house trying to redo closets.
Oh wow.
They imploded on me. They just all fell.
Oh,
like
that's
stuff.
happened to me so many
No.
times. It's not funny.
I thought I was gonna disappear because I was upstairs in my closet and everything. So I was like, nobody's ever gonna be able to find my ass.
Closet explosion.
Down the second level. And then the same thing happened in my downstairs closet. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get these fixed. And then my mother asked me yesterday, "Well, did you put all the clothes?" Absolutely not putting all those clothes back in there. One painting, one give two away. One.
That's right.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
If
is
you
what you have
all
to do.
know somebody
I was
Closet
gonna ask,
signals.
yeah.
Closet
clothes
signals.
that still have the tags on them, size 7 shoes.
Wow.
I mean, I have from 10 to 14.
Wow.
Uh-oh. But I gotta ask you, what were you drinking while you were save one?
Yeah,
throw
that's not a
two?
water
No,
project.
Uh-uh.
That's not a water
That's not-
project.
No, that's gonna happen after. So because when it fell, it tore drywall out because
Oh, so
no.
it really failed. Like it happened.
because it wasn't. They didn't put the anchors in the
Yeah.
stud.
Mhm.
So while my friend who was fixing it found the studs, I was drinking some red wine that I got from that Bright Cellars while he fixing it. But he was like, well, I can't paint first because then I'll paint over the markings where I found the studs. So
Oh.
Right.
pictures are up and all the putty and all that, whatever you call that stuff, it's all dry. That's up. He has to come back and paint before I could go one giveaway two. So
Okay.
Mm.
if y'all know anybody or any place
Mhm.
that can use it,
Mm-hmm.
use stuff, it clothes. I mean, I'm not putting it all back in there. My shower is full of shoes because that's the only place I can put it. You should see.
Sweaters in the oven, shoes in the shower.
It's like we're not using this bathroom. This is.
Oh my goodness.
The shower. Yeah.
Wow.
So that was my weekend. So,
Mm.
Well, that
Wow.
sounds riveting.
Wow. Wow. Well,
I had some farniente though. Yum. So good.
So I want to know what everybody's drinking today. So we're talking wines $10 and under. I think we try to visit this every year because there's so many different wines that are available. So many interesting wines that are $10 and under. And even when I researched this, when I went to all the blogs that have written about wines that are $10 and under, there were no repeat wines. So there's so many to choose from. So yeah. So who wants to go first? Here we go.
Okay.
Dead air.
All right.
And I don't even
Draw
know if
numbers.
it's dead air because we don't want to say or like we don't want to talk over each other all the time. We don't want to just start talking.
No, Tanisha, we were sipping in the Swirl Suite all at the same time. See,
Oh, and I
that's
can't
all.
even say I was doing that, but like, yeah, I was waiting to let somebody else since I jumped out there before. But hey, I'll jump out there again. So I'm not drinking it now, but earlier, I think I told you all a few weeks back how I went to Costco. So yay for that. And Costco has the brand Kirkland, and Kirkland's signature has some very nice wines that come in at a very good price point. So I was drinking their Prosecco.
Oh, okay.
And it is $5.99. So
wow.
There's that.
Oh man. Is
that
that
in
cheap?
American
Wait,
dollars?
Is it that cheap here?
So €5.99, €5.99. So even in American dollars, that would probably come to like $8.
Better.
Yeah, I was
Like,
about to say, yeah.
In my head.
I was like, it's highway robbery over here.
Yeah.
Is it?
I don't know what I've been paying, but it wasn't $5.
Yeah.
So yeah, the conversion.
I know y'all thought I was
helpful.
gonna have some hot French wine that is under 10, but you know what? That one blew me away a little bit. So it's decent on its own. Yes.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay.
So when you say it's decent on its own, you wouldn't use it for mimosas?
No, I mean I would use it for mimosas too, but I don't have to have it as a mimosa. That's what I mean, decent on its own.
Okay.
It doesn't have to have gin and lemon juice. It does not have to have orange.
Can I ask you a question?
Can
I ask you a question? How much of it did you have? Like how many glasses? How many glasses did you have?
On its own.
Just two? Okay, so it didn't give you like a headache or anything like that. Why y'all laughing?
I tell you, I'll be like, listen, let me tell you.
We need a Tanisha rating sheet. Like good on its own is a checkbox.
Got it.
Must be mixed is a checkbox.
Funny you said that. I thought about coming up like with a rating system of my own of what this wine means to me or makes me feel. If it was gonna be numbers, if it was gonna be how many pairs of shoes, I don't know. But
okay.
Let's put a pin in that and come back.
Okay.
We'll revisit.
Oh, I have one.
Okay.
So this weekend I was at Chateau Boudet, not to be confused with Boudet. And
Boutet? Did you say Boutet?
Chateau Boutet.
After dark show, what's happening?
So it's kind of funny too because it's like a local winery, and usually we go there second or third because they're so far out there in Chesapeake City. So by that time, people have had some drinks and they can't say the name at all.
I'm never gonna get their name right again, Leslie.
You don't need to, apparently.
Chateau Boutet.
So they had a case special. Their 2012 Chardonnay, and they were selling a case of the Chardonnay for $100. So that's $8.33 a bottle.
Okay.
So
Wow.
I
I'm
said,
still mad.
Yeah, that
Great
Chardonnay better be
deal.
good.
Let me
Right?
try it
A
first.
case of it.
Yeah, I said let me try it first.
Okay.
Right.
And it wasn't bad. It was a little oaky.
I don't know. Your
I'm
voice
loving
went up.
our-
Look, your
I'm loving
voice
our
went
shirt.
up
Right,
an octave.
You got it wasn't bad, and you can
Oh,
drink
no.
it on its own.
You can drink it on its own. And wait a second. Like you could give it as a gift to somebody, like you going to
Okay.
dinner or what have you.
Like this person?
Right. Yes, it's special.
Your voice keeps
You
going
have
up.
11
You're not
bottles
trusted.
for holiday gifts.
You're not
11
to be
bottles.
trusted.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
$8.33 a bottle.
Okay.
That's right.
So that's your wine.
That's our
That yes, that
Okay.
but I don't have it in front of me. But that is my wine.
And
It was pretty good.
what are you drinking? Because you're not drinking wine.
So I am drinking.
right. The bourbon or the brown stuff, something.
I am drinking
Ooh.
Lions. Can you see it?
Nice.
Oh,
Mhm.
here we go.
Yum,
Lions
yum.
From St.
out of
Michael's.
St. Michael's Distillery, and it is their dark rum.
Ooh.
Yum. And you are drinking it
Oh, you drinking
neat.
it straight?
I was about to
Yeah.
ask. You drinking it neat?
Come through, rum neat. Okay.
Nice.
Right.
Okay.
It is a
Holiday?
Monday.
That's like your
it's a
Monday,
Tuesday,
Tuesday.
Monday.
Tuesday. I'm like,
Yeah.
what happened to you today? But it's a Monday, Tuesday.
It is a Tuesday, Monday, not a
Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah,
it's
this
a
is
Tuesday.
Monday.
Monday.
I don't
Monday.
know what those are. Today is just Tuesday. I worked yesterday.
Oh, I'm
and
sorry.
worked today. I don't know.
All right.
I don't feel bad. You got a million holidays in France.
That's right.
In May, yes, every day was a holiday.
Mhm.
Every other day, excuse me.
Oh goodness.
Wow. That's hilarious.
Melissa, what are
So-
you drinking? Oh, Glennis, you go.
Okay,
No.
go ahead, Glennis.
I was gonna ask one. So you're not drinking the $8 thing. So that wasn't $8.
No, this
No.
this is
Not,
there. I think I paid. I mean, this is a nice size. I think I paid like $30 for
Okay.
this. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is
That
That
almost
was not a $10 and under bottle.
no, this is not Bacardi rum. No.
no, if you getting rum, if you getting a liquor for under $10, like
Ooh,
you trying to
no.
kill somebody.
Mm-mm.
That's
No. Well, you can get a liquor for under $10. You're just not gonna get a $7.50.
Yeah, it
That's
might be
all
a
that
short-
is.
It might be a shorty.
That's
Uh,
right.
But
a little bit.
If you, yeah, okay, that too. I didn't know.
Oh,
Alright,
let's
so
see. Okay, so what am I drinking? I was having a moment. I am trying out California Roots,
okay.
which is Target's new $5 a bottle line of wines that they released on Sunday.
Say what now? You
Okay.
said Target?
Target released their own line of wines. They have 5 varietals. They released it on Sunday in 1,100 stores. So they have about 1,800 stores. So they've got California Roots, Moscato, Red Blend, Cabernet, Chardonnay, and Pinot Grigio. So I thought I would try the Moscato I wanted to be a bit cliche today. But yes, this entire bottle of wine cost me $5. It's cliche. But I did have to, unfortunately, I had to meet in the middle.
Okay.
It's Target in Richmond doesn't have it, and Target obviously in Montgomery County doesn't have it. So Fredericksburg South and Williamsburg in the area have the wines. Okay, so let's see if I can borrow from Tanisha. You can drink it on its own. It's got the peach, it's got the, kind of the melon flavors,
Mhm.
but this is great sangria wine. It's a little like drinking white grape juice,
Oh, okay.
but there is a crowd for that.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I can sit and sip it ice cold, but as it gets a little warmer, that's when it kind of, develops into the white grape juice land. But really cold, it's pretty good. And for $5, I know a lot
Okay.
of people that will think it's really good. And then I have the Chardonnay in the refrigerator to give that a try later. And then they were out of Red Blend though, so that's one that I really wanted.
Yes, please post
Yeah.
about that Chardonnay. I'm so curious about that.
So
So
I
what
wanted-
made you pick the Moscato first? That
Right.
interested
I-
me.
because-
for
very
for
curious.
you that you picked Moscato.
Because,
for you.
Two reasons. Because we hate on Moscato so much. So I felt compelled. I want to make sure.
I'm not even a good Moscato judge at this point. So.
But see, I mean, I do. And second, like I like things a little bit sweeter
Mhm.
these days. This was just a little too sweet for my little bit sweeter.
Okay.
That's all.
Mm.
So
But-
is it like Kool-Aid sweet or
Not white Kool-Aid sweet, but I don't even think, do they have some sugar information on here? I don't think so.
It's
Alcohol percentage.
10%. So it's actually lower than all four others, typical of Moscato. So everything else is 13 or 13 and a half. The Moscato's 10. And let's see, it's vented and bottled by California Roots Wine Co. It's Napa and Lodi.
Oh, okay.
So they don't give a whole lot of information, let's say it that way. But it's just like, you guys would think it's really too sweet. I just think it's,
okay.
Let's put it like that. But I will tell you though, I would pour this and make my white wine sangria in a minute.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Cheers.
Glenn.
Had to try it.
Wow. Wow. Hi. Okay. What am I drinking?
I saw a pretty rosé.
Oh my God. This rosé is freaking phenomenal. Okay. So this is the color.
That's
so
pretty.
So pretty.
It is 100% Pinot Noir from the Languedoc-Roussillon region of France. It's a new, it's a Vin de Paz new GARD. So it's a country, it's from the appellation. They're starting to name it as like country table wine.
Okay.
It's a designation that they're using, but my God, this thing is delicious. And it was $9 a bottle.
All right.
Here's the can.
Oh, it's pretty label.
Nicholas.
That is pretty.
So the 216 Pinot Noir Maison Nicholas is the maker. And again, the actual city, and Tanisha, help me with this. It's Beziers. How do you pronounce that?
Oh, Bezier.
Bezier. See, I knew she could get it's not even.
Wow.
For Tanisha, and then she can tell me how to say it. Bezier.
Right. Tanisha, translate all our wine labels now.
Right.
Exactly. That's another whole class you can give. How to pronounce these in France. Okay,
What's funny? I'm actually gonna do a video series on that. We'll come back to it in a minute.
Okay.
Oh, yay!
Yay! We got two pens. Okay. Crisp, dry, full. The nose is just phenomenal. Just berries just jumping out the glass. All fresh red berries. Nothing, no tertiary, nothing going on. Of course, because it's just so fresh and new and crisp. Salads, vegetables would just pair very well. Steamed vegetables, because you don't want any way your palate down. A great aperitif too. And I just can't say enough. For $9, I will be going back and get it. And it was $9 in the Montgomery County.
See, that's what I was going to ask you.
Oh,
Where did
that
you
means
buy
it's
it?
cheaper everywhere else.
Exactly. In the Montgomery County liquor store, it was $9. I was like, is that the sale price or is that the regular price?
You're like, maybe the one is just faded that's in front of it, and it's 19 because it's imprinted on the label.
But, some of these like French wines, from the south of France are still very, very reasonable. And you can get for under, especially like the rosés, you can get for under $10 or at $10, $10.79, stuff like that. But
that's actually your region for that.
Right.
If you want wines under 10, or if you want to even go up a little bit, under 15, Languedoc-Roussillon is your region for that.
Yeah.
And the style that is made, according when I did some research on it, in the style that this is made in, they say it's like the wines that are made in the Côte d'Or. So,
oh wow.
So for $9, people,
you
can't beat this. And if Montgomery County has it at $9, but because I was about to get a red wine, right? I was gonna do a red today, but it was a $9 bottle. Now back, so I'm waiting for our next podcast. For our next, I said, I'll do that. I'll do the rosé. So I'm like excited. I walked out here with 2 bottles of wine for $18.94.
Yeah,
y'all should be proud of me.
That's a record.
Very,
I was gonna say that.
Very proud of you.
That is an achievement.
Go,
girl.
So yeah, this is delicious. I might.
Your bill be different. Mm.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna go back.
Mm.
I think I'm gonna go back and stop gum. Yeah. So summer's not over because I'm still drinking rosé, and I'll probably still be drinking rosé
year
well into winter.
round.
It'll be
Yeah, I was
It's
saying
year round now.
they've seen a
Year
lot of
round.
articles. Yeah, restaurants are
Absolutely.
leaving it on their menus.
Yeah.
All sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Now, what's the flavor on that like? Because usually for me, I'm not a fan of Pinot Noir rosés because the flavor is like a little lighter than some rosés made with thicker skin or a heavier red grape.
You get more on the nose than you do with a lot of it. You get more fruit on the nose than you do on the palate, and you're spot on with what you said. It dissipates the flavor profile dissipates pretty quickly. So, red, like strawberry, red cherry.
Yeah.
But it's very quick. I mean, the finish is very quick. But the mouthfeel, it's a very well balanced wine because the mouthfeel, when you first put it in your mouth, you're like, oh, this might have some sugar on it, but it's less than 6% residual sugar. So, but it's really, you don't get a whole lot of fruit on the palate. It's just dry and crisp.
Okay.
Nice.
Cool. You.
All right. So my turn. I didn't.
She's not been previewing today.
Well,
we don't even
see, this is the thing. I didn't expect to get this wine nerdy with a $10 bottle, but this is 100% Carignan.
Okay.
Which is different because typically it's used as a blending grape with like Grenache and Syrah. So, and then I was reading that Carignan is like considered a low quality grape in France, and there's a reason for that.
Tell
But the
what
thing
you want
is,
me to translate? Did you read it on a website? I'm just kidding.
No, but no, it's a red wine with like a light to medium body, but little tannins, like very light tannins. So it's just different. I'll just say that. It's different. It's barely transparent. You can barely see through it. And you looking at it, you think it's going to be a big wine, but it's not.
Yeah.
So it's just really tricky. And it's super earthy. It is, that word Greek, it's just like bushes and then have you ever made like cranberry sauce from scratch? When you cook cranberries, smell, that earthy smell, it's kind of like that.
You don't slice it, it's not for me. It doesn't have ridges at the top. I'm not doing it.
But it is, but you get like unripe berries, unripe cranberries, everything earthy, pencil shavings, that sort of thing. So I was reading that this is good to pair with duck breast or lamb. And I can definitely see that. I can also see this.
Where in France is it from? Did you say that part?
Let me see. I didn't. Okay. What does it say?
Now might be the label translation part.
No, of course I can't. I don't know how to pronounce this. But it's like, okay, so
Tanisha can translate.
All right, so it's D. I guess it's like accent D, accent or apostrophe ENS E with the accent RUNE.
Greg gonna have to type that out.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. I don't know
D-E.
Yeah, DENSERUNE.
Is Rune? I don't know.
I don't know. But they got a website.
It's like
They got a website. But yeah, I was too busy trying to translate the stuff that was on the bottle on the front. But but yeah,
so how much did you pay for it?
Oh, I'm sorry, I paid $10, $9.99. Yeah, so and I had to try it out. I can also see this as a Thanksgiving wine for mature palates. If you have a family that has some mature palates and will appreciate it, the earthiness of this, then it'd be fine. Also, this could go well with cigars. You get the right cigar, and this will be just fine. But very interesting wine. I don't mind it at all. I would rather be eating with it, but it's
that kind of flavor, huh?
Would you say?
I said
Is
it's
it-
that kind of flavor that you'd
Yeah.
rather be.
Yeah,
okay.
I'd rather have something with it, but yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good.
Okay,
So
so I'm trying to
I
figure out where
heard,
this wine is from still. I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
can't get over it.
it's okay. You let me know when you find out.
Because I don't even know
heard
what region this is. I'm like,
Yeah.
where?
Yeah.
But the fact that they have the name on the front label, I'm thinking
Mhm.
it's probably a Vin de Pays.
Mhm.
So it might be from around Languedoc where Glenn is here, hers too. But
Yeah,
that's
I can
just,
believe it. Yeah, I can believe it. Leslie, did you have a question? Were you about to say something?
Sorry.
Yeah, I have a question. So I heard someone say, and I don't know if it's true or not, $2 Chuck. Did we have
Mhm.
this before?
$2 Chuck isn't $2 anymore, but
It sure is.
Right. I think it's
Yeah.
$5.
it's at
$3.
least $3.99.
Mm.
So I had heard that actually many of the selections are fairly really good wine.
Mhm.
It's just because they get it at volume,
Mhm.
that's the pricing point for it. Is
Mhm.
that a true statement? Because I've never had
I don't know.
the wine.
It's
I've
been
had it
years.
before. I've had it before, and it's not bad. You know,
Mhm.
Right.
when it, you know, when people are like, oh, it's $2 out of Trader Joe's, and I'm like,
Mhm.
you know, your mind tends to say,
Right.
really?
Yeah.
But it's not wine.
Yeah.
And I had heard a story about that wine, and it was supposedly that when the husband and wife got divorced, she got mad with him and said, "Okay, I'm taking all this. I'm just going to charge $2 for it and put it in the."
That's the story we hear, and then he died broke.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep, that's the story. So I'm glad it wasn't just a fairy tale.
Yeah. No, it was a crazy story, but like, yeah, I read that about him, Charles Shaw.
Yeah.
For the longest, I was like, really? I was like, what a way to get back at him. Go, girl.
Uh-oh.
And you put him in the poorhouse.
Yep.
Wow.
But there are so many. I mean, it's $2 Chuck, but then there are the Aldi's and the Lidl's, kind of
Yeah.
the $2.69,
Yeah.
$3.69.
Even Whole Foods
Target
has,
with their-
yeah, Whole Foods has
Yep.
wines under 10. Yeah.
Yep. I was in there drinking like a $4 bottle. Well, not
Mhm.
in the Whole Foods,
Mhm.
but bought one there.
Yeah.
And
like,
there, I mean,
You know, throwing it back in.
But you do know Whole Foods has happy hour on Wednesday.
yes, they
Well,
do.
they do.
but-
Not only
Depending
that,
on your location.
not only that, but some Whole Food, well, the GW location, they'll
Yes.
serve you wine with your lunch. Like you can go to the
Yeah.
coffee counter and they'll put wine in a plastic cup with a straw. If you follow me on Instagram, I was there a few weeks ago. So I had a
What?
turkey burger and a glass of wine, and it came in the plastic cup with straw. I got on the train and everything. You know, they know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You thought you were in Louisiana.
I'm like,
On
it's
the
the sippy
train,
cup.
girl, they be arresting people for that.
Like-
Like, they come back because-
Don't tell nobody this.
Right? You ruin it for the rest of us.
My bad. Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
then you said
Then y'all
rest-
should have gone
just
already.
water.
Too late.
Would you say?
Too bad.
That's
So
what,
sad.
right. It's water.
yeah, it's
You
water.
said
It's
rest- you
juice.
used to, like, when Metro first opened up, you couldn't even drink water. They would arrest you for drinking
What?
water on
Get
the
out
train.
of here.
Right. Then those trains stopped getting cool in the summer, and people started dying on these
Yeah.
trains. You're like,
Yeah.
you can have some water.
They're like, all right, fine, you can have water. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, pretty sure that's illegal not to let them have water on the train.
That's when it's hot cars.
So I got a question. Where do y'all get y'all wines that are under $10? Where do you shop for wines? Where can people get wines like that?
Well, like I said, you know, Montgomery County beverage stores here have wines under $10. I was
Mhm.
really surprised.
Mm.
So Montgomery County now. I was like, okay, all right,
Right
y'all.
there. Check Aldi.
Oh,
Everybody
yeah.
was talking about that rosé.
Yeah, which I can't find.
Yeah, and then Lidl. I know that they have Lidl in the States now. I know
What's
I
Lidl?
can find wines here. It's like Aldi.
Oh, okay.
So I think Melissa, you had a post. Was that you who posted that they were in Richmond now?
Yeah, Lidl's a German, like a grocery store that's come from Germany. It's a lot
Yeah.
like Aldi, but they say it's just slightly more upscale. Like they have a bakery that bakes
Oh.
fresh bread,
Oh, wow.
you know, stuff
Yeah.
like that. But it's really similar. It's
Okay.
a really
Yeah.
similar format.
Like
Oh.
I got a wine in there for a picnic I went to. Don't tell them, but that wine was $179, $199.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a
their
rosé
wine. Yeah.
from
50 million
Yeah.
and not just a little split.
No, $7.50.
no, it was a regular size bottle.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
They've
Like
got
I'll just go in
wine.
there and grab wine just to try it to see. Be like,
Yeah.
okay, like if I hate it, all right,
Mhm.
fine. It was €3. I'm not gonna die.
Yeah.
Right.
So I've had a couple good rosés. One Cabernet d'Anjou that I had. Do I still have that bottle over there? Anyway, I don't know. It was nice. It was actually too sweet for me, so I
Mhm.
put ice in it. But I'm fine with that with my rosé.
Yes.
Mm.
So I put ice in it, and that was that. It was much better. It was fine. I drank it all.
Headed for the ice cubes now.
I drank it all.
So,
And, you know,
yeah.
here in Montgomery County, none of the grocery stores or
Yeah.
supermarkets carry
Wine. Yeah.
wine,
Right.
liquor, any, wine,
Mhm.
beer, liquor,
Yeah.
anything. So you have to go to
That or you either
You got to
go,
cross the border.
Yeah.
or you
Mhm.
have to go to like a beer and wine, like a specialty,
mean,
or
for
one of the
people-
grandfathers.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there are only 4 grocery stores in the county that were grandfathered in.
Mhm.
Well, you can go to the superstores, like Total Wine,
Yeah.
and
not if it was
She
in
was
county, you could.
oh no, I'm not. I'm sorry, I'm not suggesting Montgomery
talking
County.
about
I'm
for
just saying.
Montgomery residents.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I wasn't suggesting. I was saying if you don't happen to have those stores near you,
Mhm.
Right.
usually the whatever superstore,
Mhm.
liquor store, they will have wines under $10. And
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
for people in PG County, the Woodmore liquor store isn't bad.
yes,
It's not
Mhm.
bad. You can find something decent in there for $10 or under.
Yep.
But Trader Joe's, I like Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
So Aldi, let's talk about that for a second. Y'all know there's one near my house, so I'm always
love
in
it.
there, and I've tried almost all of them.
And
I probably like 25% of them, but I've never,
Almost
I've never found that rosé that got all the publicity. It was
So
supposed to be
yeah,
like,
got all the awards.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
never on the shelves. It's like it's a hit or miss, Sometimes you want to get
Yeah.
something good. Sometimes it's just like, nah, son, I'm gonna have a headache. I'm gonna have a headache in the morning. So, it's a risk, but their wine is super cheap.
Well, I think I'll take it a step further. So I think 10 and under wines, but then I'm like a super stingy. Like I'm looking for the under $5 kind of wine.
Okay.
And so that's the one thing that I think
why
is
are you
good
pushing
about.
the envelope? Under 5.
Where I'm trying to
coming
be
from?
more
2020.
sympathetic to my wallet when it comes to drinking.
Oh. Okay.
No, but I mean, I think
I'm gonna let you finish. I'm a Kanye. I'm gonna let you finish, but I have a comment for after
But
that.
I'm serious. There's so many to try. Whether it's Lidl, Aldi, you can get Kroger wines, sort of at that price point, $5 and $6, and even below. I mean, for me,
They taste like.
so some are good, some are not. Like I was talking about my white grape juice tonight. You run into some of those.
Yeah.
But you can also run into some. I mean, that's also because I picked a Moscato on kind of. Had I picked the Chardonnay, I think I'd be in a different land.
For
See,
California,
I'm gonna keep
United
it real
States,
with y'all. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. There is another reason I picked this. I want to make sure that like anybody watching this show, whether they are super highfalutin, drink $20 and $30 bottles of wine on a regular, or if they really want like an $8 bottle of wine that's decent, to be able to find something in this. And that's the other reason I picked a Moscato. Because I mean, literally, a lot of Moscatos are pretty good. They fit a lot of people's taste palates. So I know I see Glennis kind of frowning across the way, but I will stand up for the, dare I call it the regular person.
To like put over my face to give my expression. I need the emoji that has the flat line for the mouth and then the eyes. I need that emoji right now. I need that one, the flat line.
I'm serious. I may be
Melissa,
bougie.
I do have to say, in defense of your Tarjay wine, probably that wine is mass produced.
Oh, I'm sure of it. It just went into 1,100 stores.
Right, and somebody has put another label on that wine and charged more money.
Absolutely.
For that
It's
wine.
got to be private label. Yeah.
Right, and so for those out there who are looking for their bargain wine but still quality of wine, I would look at those people who mass produce, and if they, if you can find it that they sell off to other people.
Mhm.
So it may be labeled under a less expensive label, but it really is quality wine.
Mhm.
That's how you could find a good wine. I mean, not everybody does that research. Most people are hit or miss because
Right.
they only spend $10 on it. They're not going to lose sleep. But if you try to stay within that price point, you might want to.
Right. If you want to stay within that price point, but you want to feel like you are drinking, a wine that's worth double, I agree with you, kind of thinking about who the parent company is and all that kind of stuff. Because there's a lot of decent grapes on the bulk market. It's just, when you're servicing 1,100 stores at a pop, it becomes a little difficult to get that right.
So. And that even happens at the, I'm sorry, Sarita, that happens at the local level too. The large vineyards in Virginia, even some of them in Maryland and California, they sell their wine to their competitors and they just put a different label on it.
Yeah. And be careful with the big winemakers like Yellowtail, because you don't know where exactly that wine is coming from. You don't know where those grapes are coming from. You got to be careful with that, because I knew this guy. There's this guy who had a really good palate, and he said that he just randomly went in a liquor store and bought a bottle of Yellowtail, and he said it was excellent. So he was like, guess what? I went back in the store and got the entire case of that Yellowtail, because wherever it came from was where I liked it, and that's what I like. Right. You're not
going to never get it again.
Exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't all come from the same place. Also, they don't get their grape from the same place. When you get anything that's like that, cheap, those grapes can literally be from anywhere in the country, all over the country, and maybe not even from said country. Like there was a problem here in France where they were getting grapes from Spain, but since they fermented it and did all the other after stuff in France, then it was French wine, and then they put the bulk label on it or whatever. And people were breaking into these French vineyards and opening up the tanks and letting it all fall on the ground.
Oh my god!
Because they're like, you all aren't making French wine. This is terrible. So they were vandalizing these places, emptying the tanks out, doing all kind of stuff. This was recently, like as recent as so we're talking if they were doing the fermentation process. So we're talking like maybe May, June. Wow. They're going through harvest now.
That's
that was like a big that was like a big deal. But also, for me, I guess I'm a little more of a purist when it comes to wine, and I want to know where this came from. So for you to just tell me it came from here and point to the map as a whole and do a big sweeping motion with your hand, that's not quite gonna do it for me. So yeah, that. But if you're looking for wines at a good price point, I think it's interesting that both Sarita and Glennis had wines from France, because to get those in the States for under 10, just thinking about importation, the 3-tier system, currency exchange, that is actually a very good price point for French wine. I find it for that cheap, because I mean they just got to drive it up there around the hill. It's fine. It's no other people with their hands in it. But as across the board, if you're looking for cheaper wines, and I don't want to say cheap because that makes it usually cheap,
make it sound
a lower price point. I always say to look at South America. Wines from Argentina and Chile regularly come in at under 10. There are some very good ones.
A Portuguese rosé,
and I was going to say Portugal.
Of course, there were a few. I went to Old Line in Beltsville, and they have a lot of wines under $10. And I have a Vino Verde rosé that was, I think this was $8.99. And then I got a Cabernet from Spain that was, I think, maybe $9.99. But you can find them. You just have to be, a little bit more open about your regions and the grapes that you choose and stuff like that. And sure, absolutely.
To find some.
And Australia has my favorite. Stump Jump is my
Stump Jump, get out of here.
at that price point. 'Cause I
Are
think
you
some
serious?
jump might be. It varies. It might. I mean, but depending on where you get it from, like Montgomery County, I think it might be like 12.
Mm-hmm.
But PG, you might be able to get it for 10.
Mm-hmm.
But stump jump is that.
Right.
I will buy that by the case.
They had
Oh,
quite a few.
wow.
I didn't want to gross Leslie out, so I didn't get my favorite white varietal.
What?
To,
Which is what?
Oh, Sauvignon Blanc.
What's your favorite white? I'm sorry, I'm new.
my favorite white varietal is Sauvignon Blanc.
Sauvignon Blanc. Even I knew that one.
Yeah, like,
Oh my goodness.
So
funny.
I didn't want
That was
to-
funny.
Grass.
Totally different. Yeah, that's funny.
That's too funny.
But also, when we were talking about bulk wines and things, and these stores that put labels on,
Mhm.
sometimes wineries have just excess must that they want to get rid of.
Right.
Yes.
It might not have been up to the standard that they want
Mhm.
again to put their brand on.
Mhm.
So they're like, sell this off. So,
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely
you're
right.
like,
So true, so true.
Yep. Absolutely right. Well, though this is fun.
so we're kind of just saying if for someone who is listening, if they want to get, like, we named some wines that we
Mhm.
like for at that price
Yeah.
point, but
Yeah.
we're also saying you got to experiment. If you're
Yeah.
trying to do at a
Yeah.
certain price point, then you need to kind of just
Mhm.
try some things out.
Right.
But be prepared to have more duds than you do
Mhm.
winners.
Yeah.
You know?
right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then go back, like Sarita said, and buy the whole case. when
Right.
you find the winner.
Yeah.
Right. And then
Yeah.
they're all going to taste different. So
Uh-huh.
it's going
And
to have
that's-
a medley,
I mean, and
a
that's how
potpourri
you-
of things for your case.
That's how you fall in love with a grape. A particular region. You got to try it.
Right. And that's so very true because, like, I was like, oh my gosh, I got 30 minutes to get to the store and get back here and get ready for that.
Scramble, scramble, scramble. Mm-hmm.
I was like, where am I gonna go? Like, oh, 2 blocks, 3 blocks up
Mhm.
is the Montgomery County package store. I was like, okay, you just grab stuff. What's under $10? Oh, okay. You just grab it off the shelf. Never had it before, but I
Right.
know the region.
Right.
So I was like, can't go wrong with this one.
Mm-hmm.
Get it with the
Yep.
region because they're historically known for making quality wine. So.
Mm-hmm.
And you should ask the people that work at the store. They'll tell you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sometimes they even have like a whole section. It's like these are the wines that's
Uh-huh.
under
Yeah.
10, under
Yeah.
12, under 20.
Mhm. Yeah.
Right.
People love a bargain. Like
Absolutely.
across the board, people just love a bargain. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, they'll give you some ball about it if you want some fancy
Mhm.
Pinot Noir from the Bourgogne region. But they will also tell you that this wine costs $6 and I like it a lot.
Right.
That's right.
You're exactly
So,
right. You guys got anything going on this weekend you want to tell people about? No.
I already talked about that damn closet.
Uh,
What else is?
And more wine, because I see that rosé bottle getting lower and lower
Nowhere.
yeah.
How low can you go?
and lower.
You got a whole
I
lot.
I don't have anything going on this weekend, but
Mhm.
for the entire month of September, Vino 301, we're giving away bottles of wine.
What?
What?
Wow.
Where's my bottle?
How's that
So what-
happen?
Talk about slide that in at the end.
Right.
Right. What they got to do? What we got to do?
What's
Right.
So
I know you do.
we are doing a blog series on Discover Maryland Wine Trails,
Uh-huh.
and we are exploring all 7 wine trails. And so every Tuesday at 7:30,
Mm-hmm.
we have a online contest.
Mm.
And all you have to do is just put your name and email address.
Mm-hmm.
We promise we won't spam you. And we select the
Okay,
one.
who was
You get 2 bottles of Maryland wine. Today we did wine from gorgeous Prince George's, and we did the new place,
What's that? Jean Marc?
Oh.
Jane
Yeah.
Mark,
Okay. Barbera.
It
Oh,
is-
nice.
and it is good.
That's what I like.
We
Barbera.
gave this away, and we gave a bottle of Romano's away, and you get a Vino 301 bag, and we started doing candle
Oh,
holders
the candle holders.
Yeah.
from wine bottles. So this candle holder used to be Chamberson from Port Townsend Lemon.
Hmm.
Nice.
You make the candle holders yourself?
Oh yeah.
Right. I like
Um,
that.
Because like you told
No,
me,
I
that's why I was like, oh my
I
god,
have
I
all these
love it.
She's got
empty
people for
wine
that.
bottles, and I take it to somebody, and they cut it for me. Because I
Okay.
tried all that craziness on Pinterest, like
Taking it
take
straight.
That's what I'm serious. They'll be like,
And the
oh,
string.
take a string. I'm like,
Yeah.
No.
that doesn't work.
My teeth,
You
like, I
gotta
don't know
have
what
people
to
for
do.
that. No.
Yeah, so we have a
All
place
kinds
that
of things
cuts the
every
bottles for us.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
That's cool.
Huh.
That's
Nice promotion.
Right.
I have a person. I have a guy.
Okay. Tuesdays, every Tuesday at
It's
7:30.
7:30.
At 7:30.
Okay.
She told us that on Tuesday at 9 o'clock.
Right. I was like, and so I've missed that window.
Y'all are crazy.
Yeah, so Tuesday at a time past when I'm talking to you.
Right. Calendar alert.
Well,
I'm
Saturday.
gonna have an alarm on my phone. I'm on the wing.
Saturday, me and Alan will be at Vino Fest. So
Ooh.
I will. Yeah. So their Vino Fest is taking over Ivy City, closing down the streets and everything. So follow me on Instagram and Snapchat. So I'll do some
Get ready
live,
for the Insta stories.
live footage, and I will be very honest about what I think about it because I've been once. And,
Yeah, because you were very honest how you felt about it last year.
Uh-huh.
So,
Yep.
we
Yep. I
appreciate you.
sure will. So,
Are you going to bring your own glass?
child, stop with the shade. Are you serious?
I think somebody struck a nerve.
GYO solo cup.
BYOG.
Yeah,
Hopefully I don't need to do that.
Don't even. I was at a wine fest not long ago, and they were having that moment. There were no
child.
cups. It was really BYOG.
No, that's
Yep.
dumb.
Yep.
You need to shut your festival down.
So did they
Well, I just stepped to the left. I left. I was like, I'm done.
So Glennis, they didn't properly. They didn't order the right glasses, so they were giving people plastic cups, and they weren't sturdy, so they were breaking, and it was a hot mess. It was a hot mess.
It was like
You could've just given me
communion.
a solo cup.
Yeah, it was like communion wine.
It was like communion.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
you are just being very optimistic that was that first time
So-
out.
Right, that's cute that she tried it again, right, Glenn?
Well, see, listen,
But
there is
you
a
gotta have
reason.
Glasses.
There's a reason I'm going back. I'm
Okay.
going back because their sponsorship is bigger. Their sponsorship is different and it's bigger, and it's 10 minutes from my house. So I'm like, it's something to do, so.
Right.
And I want to be nosy, so.
Local love. Throw
I'm
some
pretty
local
sure you
love.
can find something else to do.
Third time's a charm. Pack
Something
your
to do.
glass just in case.
This
take
is
it- take your
true.
own
Yeah,
glass.
do you
This
have
is
a
true.
glass or like a nice
is
little
true.
tasting cup that you can
Mm.
go
Just
places?
carry that with you.
Mhm.
Right.
This is true. So yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So.
okay, well, it shall be interesting.
Uh-huh.
Get to posting.
Yes.
Thing.
Well,
Well-
I guess that concludes our show. Thanks for swipping in the Swirl Suite, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.